So you start your baby from 6 months, from 1 year, you begin to do all these bad hair care practices that you practice on your own head, on your baby's head. Hi, you're welcome to another episode of Ask The Trichologist. My name is Atilola, and I am the Certified Trichologist at African Naturalistas Hair Clinic. All right, so today we are going to be taking a very interesting topic, quite simple, but confuses some people, especially people who are still very green and very new to everything that has to do with hair care. Today's question is from Hawa. Hawa says, "Hi Atilola, I've heard you mention in 1 or 2 places that traction alopecia is not genetic. The truth is that I have lost hair around my edges, and everyone in my family has lost hair around their edges. I'm pretty sure this is traction alopecia because I've read about it. I'm pretty sure this is traction alopecia because I've read about it on the internet, and it is traction alopecia. However, it is not just me. Everyone in my family has this. How exactly is this not genetic when we all have it and it is traction alopecia?" All right, thank you, Awa, for this question. I'm very excited that you asked this question because I get this question all the time, especially when we are trying to sell, products for traction alopecia, and we're telling them, "Oh, this is your fault. It's nothing genetic. You did this to yourself." And they're like, "No, it's genetic. Everybody in my family has it." Like, no, you did this to yourself. So how exactly is it possible for everyone in a family, an extended family, to have a history of traction alopecia when it's not genetic? And for people who don't know what traction alopecia is, before I move on, traction alopecia is basically hair loss that occurs as a result of traction. You might ask, what is traction? Traction is that friction, that you place on your hair, whether because of the extensions, because of the weaves, because of the wigs, because of the, whatever it is you're putting, whether you're playing with your hair, but there's a relationship between an external force and your scalp, and then traction occurs, and then you lose your hair. And it mostly occurs around the hairline, around the edges, which you can already see in the picture here, right? You can already see it here. It mostly occurs around the edges, but there are some cases of traction alopecia that occurs in the middle of the head. So we have this that occurs around the edges, the borders of your hair, either the nape area, the front area, which is called the marginal traction alopecia because it's around the margins of your head, and then the one that occurs in the middle of your hair, somewhere around there, because it is non-marginal traction alopecia. And those ones, occurs when the hairline is pulled too tightly around those areas due to the hairstyles that are done around those areas. So the pulling starts from the middle or from the sides or from, but the most common one is the one around the edges. So now we can go to why is it that some people, in the same family, or family line or bloodline have traction. Some people say, "No, maybe my sister doesn't have it, but my cousin has it, but my aunt has it, but my mom has it, my mom's sister has it, and then I have it, so I inherited it from them." No, you do not inherit traction alopecia. If you want to know the one you inherit, go and watch the video I did about androgenic alopecia, which I will put in the description box below. But for traction alopecia, you do not inherit it. So I'm sure you're asking, "Okay, Atilola, tell us. You have said it, okay, we've heard. Why is it that everybody in my family has it?" Well, they have it because you all have the same bad hair care practices. Now, there are 2 ways why, or 2 reasons why everybody in a family might have it. You all have the same bad hair care practices. You all like braiding your hair. You all have the same hairstyles. You all have the same practices when it comes to hair care. Just like all of you eat the same food in your house and all of you are obese and you are fat. It doesn't mean obesity is hereditary because you are all fat and obese in your family. It just means that all of you have the same diets, you eat the same things, and then it runs in the family. Not that you inherited it from your parents, but the reason why you have traction alopecia and your mother has traction alopecia and your auntie has traction alopecia and your sister has traction alopecia means you just all have the same hair care practices. Now, another reason why you might all have traction alopecia, and this one is very common, is because the mother in that family doesn't really know much about hair care. So when she was getting married, she used to do all the braids, all the weaves, all the wigs, all the, just to slay mama, right? And then she gives birth to this beautiful set of girls, and then she carries all those bad hair care practices and translates it to her children. And she's like, oh, don't mind Felicia there. Felicia just took after my own hairline. No, Felicia didn't take after your own hairline. Felicia took after your bad hair care practices that gave her the same hairline, right? So you start your baby from 6 months, from 1 year, you begin to do all these bad hair care practices that you practice on your own head, on your baby's head. No, it is not genetic. It is just that you have translated your bad hair care practices down, and it has trickled down to your daughters. I hope you see what is going on here. And another thing which I believe might be your own case is, you're probably using hijab, right? Because from your name, I see that you're a Muslim. So you're using hijab, your parents are using, or your mother is using hijab, your auntie is using hijab, all the ladies in your families are using hijab. Now, if you want to know about how hijab causes hair loss and other headgears, not only hijabs, scarves, turbans, and other headgears cause hair loss, you can also check it in the description box below when I talked about, the relationship between headgears, hijabs, and everything, and hair loss, right? But it is very common for a family of hijabites, a family of scarfites, turbanites, and all these Jewish ladies who cover their head all the time to have hair loss. I already talked about that. If you want to know how to keep wearing your hijabs, keep wearing your scarves, and make sure you don't have hair loss, watch that video. But I'm just bringing that on, that if all of you are wearing hijabs in your family and you all have hair loss, it is not hereditary. It is because you're all using headgears all the time, especially if you're now adults, and then the number of men that can see you without those headgears have reduced significantly, and then you have to use it all the time, even in your own homes. Trust me, those edges are going to be shaved off, right? So it is not hereditary. It is either 3 reasons: all of you have bad hair care practices, or a mother translated all her bad hair care practices down to her children, or you are all wearing hijabs, scarves, and all those things, right? And I know that this information has delivered somebody. It has been a source of deliverance from one woman or another woman, right? And then you can stop blaming your bad practices, and you can stop blaming all these things on genes. It has nothing to do with genes. The only form of genetic alopecia is androgenic alopecia and not traction alopecia. So, I'm very glad, I'm very excited that you have learned something from today's video. Before you go off, please like this video, subscribe, because there's somebody that needs to be delivered from this. Share this, click on the notification bell, and drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you have any questions you want us to answer, ask in the comment section, or send an email to att@africannaturalistas.com. Once again, my name is Atilola, and I will see you in the next episode of Ask The Trichologist. Bye.